Have you ever loved someone so much that you did give up your entire future just to see them breathe? Only for that same person to turn their back on you when you needed them most. Yeah, that was me. My name is Amara, and this is a story of how I gave up my dream, my whole life, to save my brother, and how that decision broke me, changed me, and in the end, rebuilt me. Ever since I was little, I wanted to become a doctor. Not because it sounded fancy, but because I grew up in a small part of Johannesburg, where people didn't always make it to the hospital on time. My mother used to say, if only we had a doctor in this family, half our problems will be solved. I carried that dream with me throughout every sleepless night, every test, every disappointment. By the time I turned 21, I had just gotten a partial scholarship to study medicine at the University of Cape Town. It wasn't everything, but it was enough to get me started. And honestly, I thought my life was finally beginning. But life doesn't always ask for your permission before flipping your world upside down. The day everything changed, it was a Thursday afternoon. My phone rang. My younger brother Ethan, he was only 17 at the time. I answered cheerfully, "Hi little man, how is school?" But his voice, it was shaky, terrified. "Amara," he whispered, "please don't tell mom yet, but I am in trouble." You know that feeling when your heart just drops to your stomach? Yeah, that. Long story short, Ethan had been hanging out with the wrong crowd. Some older boys convinced him to run errands for them, moving packages he didn't know. Or maybe he didn't want to know that those packages contained drugs. He got caught. The police gave him two options: talk and risk retaliation, or take the blame and face juvenile prison. I can still hear my mother crying that night. I remember sitting on the cold floor of our living room thinking, this can't be happening. Ethan was a good kid, just lost, easily influenced, desperate to fit in. And then came the decision that changed my life forever. The lawyer said if we could pay for a strong defense and community service program, Ethan could avoid prison. But it wasn't cheap. The fee was everything we had, and more. Mom didn't have it. Our father had passed years ago. So I did what any big sister who loved her brother more than herself, though. I gave up my scholarship. I sold my laptop, my textbooks, my savings. Everything meant for my future went to saving his present. I told myself, dreams can wait, but my brother can't. People told me I was foolish. Some even called me too emotional. But when you love someone, logic takes a backseat. Ethan got off community service. Our case was sealed, and for a moment I thought it was worth it. He hugged me and said, "I will make it up to you, Amara. I promise." I believed him. I wanted to believe him. A year later, things began to change. Ethan got into a local college with a small grant. He moved out, started hanging out with new friends, people I didn't know. He stopped calling. At first, I thought he was just busy. You know, new school, new life. But weeks turned into months. When I finally called, he did pick up and sound irritated. "Amara, you don't need to check on me every day. I am not a baby." That hurts. I swallowed my pride. Told him I was just happy he was okay and hung up. But deep down, it felt like the beginning of something broken. One evening, I got a call from my mom. She was crying again. "Ethan hasn't come home in 2 days," she said. We searched everywhere, called his friends, checked the hospitals, nothing. Then a number I didn't recognize called my phone. A calm, unfamiliar voice said, "Are you Amara Blake?" "Yes. I think we have your brother here. He is in police custody." I froze. Turned out, Ethan had been caught again, this time for thefts. He did be hanging with a group that robbed a small electronics store. When I went to see him, his eyes were cold. He didn't look like my little brother anymore. I whispered, "Ethan, why?" He said, "Don't act like you are perfect, Amara. You think you're better than me because you gave up your life for me?" That moment, I can't explain it. It was like someone ripped out my heart. I wanted to scream, to remind him how much I had sacrificed, how many nights I cried for him, but I just stood there silent. He looked away and then he walked out. For weeks, I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. The people I had once called friends had all moved on. They were graduating, chasing their dreams, while I was stuck replaying my brother's words over and over. My mom tried to comfort me, but I could see the pain in her eyes too. We had both lost the same person, but in different ways. One night, sitting on our porch, under the stars, I whispered to myself, "Maybe my dreams died for nothing." I felt empty, but then something unexpected happened. One Sunday morning, I went to volunteer at a local youth center. Honestly, I just needed a distraction. There I met Mrs. Clara, a kind British woman who had moved to South Africa years ago. She ran a mentorship program for troubled teens. She noticed I was quiet and asked, "You have a heavy heart, dear. Want to talk about it?" For some reasons, I did. I told her everything about my dream, my brother, the sacrifice, the betrayal. When I finished, she smiled sadly and said, "Sometimes the people we save aren't meant to thank us. They are meant to teach us." Those words hit differently. She later introduced me to a youth rehabilitation program where I could volunteer, and little by little, something inside me began to heal. I started mentoring girls and boys who had been in trouble, kids like my brother once was. And to my surprise, I was good at it. They listened to me because I had lived what they are living. Soon I began studying part-time, not medicine this time, but counseling psychology. Helping people heal from their pain became my new dream. And guess what? Every time one of those kids looked at me and said, "Thank you," I felt like a piece of my old dream came back to life. 3 years passed. Then one evening, I got a call from a number I didn't know. It was Ethan. He was quiet at first. Then, in a trembling voice, he said, "Amara, I am sorry." He told me he did been through a lot. Homelessness, addiction, regrets. He did finally decide to get help. "I don't deserve your forgiveness," he said. I took a deep breath and replied, "You don't need to deserve it, Ethan. You are my brother. But this time, you have to save yourself." That night, I cried. Not because I was sad, but because I finally realized something powerful. Sometimes, love doesn't mean saving someone. Sometimes, it means letting them face their own storm. Today, I am not a doctor like I once dreamt, but I am something better. I am a healer of hearts. And every time I meet a young person about to throw their life away, I see Ethan's face. And I tell them, "Make your sister cry the way mine did." Ethan is doing better now. Not perfect, but trying. We'll talk sometimes. And he always ends our call with, "Thank you for not giving up on me." And you know what? I smiled every time, because maybe that is enough. Moral lesson: life won't always reward you for doing the right thing right way. Sometimes, your sacrifice will go unnoticed, your kindness unreturned, your love unappreciated. But that doesn't mean it was wasted. Because every act of love plants a seed. And even if it takes years, it will grow in ways you never expected. So if you have ever given up your dreams for someone who walked away, don't let that make you bitter. Let it make you wiser, softer, and stronger. Remember, your story matters too. Yeah. Thank you for watching the story. If you know the story ever touched you in any way, please subscribe to my channel. Please, I am begging you, subscribe. I know you love the story. Subscribe, turn on your post notification so that whenever I post a new story, you will be the first to get notified. Drop your comment, share the video so more might need you to get inspired or entertained. See you on our next story. Thank you.